what's up, everyone? It is time for our recruiting report with our recruiting insider, Otis Kirk. And Otis, it was a busy week on the Hill. Finally, a bunch of guys got to make some visits to the campus and meet the staff face to face. We're going to go through the list here. Let's start things off with Miles Rouser.
Yeah, he's from Belleville, Michigan, committed to Arkansas, four-star, been committed to Arkansas for quite some time. Very good recruiter, too, working on some other kids such as Anthony Brown we'll talk about later. Miles is just talented safety, one of the top two, probably one of the top two or three safeties, I would say, in the nation. I mean, not just in Arkansas. And he had a great visit. Obviously, it was his first one to get to come. He's from Michigan and get to come all the way to Arkansas and check things out. He was impressed. The weather was nice. But I think, Arkansas is in great shape there with Miles. He's solid. This is a kid that's going to get all kinds of accolades as a senior. He's already gotten quite a few. But if he stays healthy for his senior season, he's going to get a lot of honors and awards, all-star games and stuff like that. And so it was good to see him, finally get to meet him, and he's very impressive safety, Tara. I mean, this kid's the real deal.
Well, you already kind of mentioned this guy. You got Anthony Brown, a guy at Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, he's originally from Michigan, so he knows Rouser. So it was a little bit of an inside there that they knew each other. So, but Anthony is being recruited. I've got him listed as an athlete, but Arkansas is recruiting him to play safety. His host was Jalen Catalon. They're recruiting him to play Catalon's position, the middle safety. And Anthony Brown's about 6'2", 190, got a ton of offers, got a lot of speed. 6'2", 190, really loves Sam Carter. That was the drawing point for him, as it was with Rouser. Sam Carter is doing a great job recruiting, and making an impression on these kids back there in the secondary and stuff. And most of Anthony Brown's stats as a junior were quarterback, wide receiver, and running back, but he's actually going to play defense here, and that's what I thought Arkansas was recruiting. I think most of the schools want him as a defensive back. Yeah. But at 6'2", 190, he's capable in good speed. He's capable of playing a lot of positions, and he's someone. Today is his birthday, by the way. And, yeah, Anthony's birthday today. He's going to make his commitment on July the 29th of next month. He's going to make a commitment. I feel really, really good about Arkansas's chances there. I asked him if he wanted to commit on his birthday, and he said, not yet. He said, I'm staying solid with that date. I tried. I tried.
It's worth a shot.
Yeah, worth a shot.
Tyrus Washington, a tight end out of Georgia. You talked to him. What did he say about his visit?
Yeah, and he was one I was wondering about because he'd been recruited by Cody Kennedy to play tight end, and then Cody goes to offensive line.
Right.
So really, but he said, "Hey, it's just next man up." He said this is a great visit. Tyrus doesn't like the big city stuff. He said he doesn't like the traffic. He doesn't like the big buildings. He likes the country, laid-back style of Arkansas, but yet it's big enough to do what he needs to do, And Arkansas has a need at tight end. And he said Kennedy is a great coach. Coach Kennedy's a great guy, great coach. But, he knows Arkansas is going to hire someone good.
Yeah.
He's not worried about it. That's not a concern of his. So that was one obstacle I felt like, I don't guess Arkansas had to overcome, but I kind of felt like going in, they might have to overcome, losing the tight end coach to 2 weeks. But it wasn't as big a factor as it could have. I guess it could have been with some kids. But he's about 6'4", 230, very good player, Tara. And he's got quite a few visits coming up. I think Arkansas has got a reasonably good shot with him. I really do. I like the chances with him. Not as much as I do with Brown, but I do like Arkansas's chances. He and Dax Courtney together would really give Arkansas a solid tight end room in this class.
Yeah. And you mentioned the Cody Kennedy thing. I am curious to see how that all plays out and if it makes an impact down the road. So we'll wait and see. But Jaron Willis, a linebacker out of Georgia.
Yeah, and that's his teammate of Washington. And he's committed to Georgia Tech. Four-star linebacker, committed to Texas Tech, Georgia Tech, 6'2", 220, committed to Georgia Tech. But he's taking visits. he committed, but he said Arkansas didn't flip him, but he said he gave him something to think about. It's something he's going to think about. He said he's going to visit other schools too, so it's not just he's going to be at Georgia Tech, Florida State, and schools like that.
Okay.
So, but Arkansas did get the first visit. It gives him something to compare to. I think he'll be at Georgia Tech next weekend. But Washington, he said Washington's like family to him. And so, I think if Washington were to come here, I think it might help their chances with Willis. But I don't know. I mean, he committed to Georgia Tech, and I didn't feel like Arkansas was second even in the running at that time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they were in the run, but I mean, they weren't second in the pecking order for him. I felt like it was Florida State or Georgia Tech. And so we'll see how it works out. But hey, they got a good visit. They made an impression. And he said he could definitely see himself playing for Arkansas's linebacker coach, Coach Shearer. He could definitely see that. So he did a good job recruiting him, as all these coaches did with these kids.
Do you think Arkansas is in good standings with a guy like Emery Jones, offensive lineman out of Baton Rouge?
That's going to be tough. And I asked him about that. I said, you're from Baton Rouge. There's going to be a lot of pressure on you to go to LSU.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that a factor? And he says, this is my decision, not a peer pressure decision. But he is visiting LSU last. We'll see. 6'4", 330, big-time 4-star offensive lineman. I mean, whew, man, he passes the eyeball test. I'll put it that way. He is he's the type kid that could come in and play on the offensive line for some college probably pretty early in his career, be it Arkansas or some LSU or someone else. But he's got other schools on his list also. He's going to take some visits. But the thing I like about him is he seems to be pretty intent on making the decision himself. Not saying he won't go to LSU. He may very well decide that if that's the best for him, he'll probably go there. Now he was really hung up on the brotherhood stuff. He felt like Arkansas's players got along so well, and he said that's about the most important thing to him choosing the college is how well the players get along. Is the locker room divided? Yeah, he doesn't want to go where the locker room's divided or something like that. And so that was important to him, and Arkansas did a great job and made a very good impression there with him.
Okay, well, that's good. I mean, who would want to go somewhere where the locker room is divided? So it's definitely a good thing. Good news to hear that, though, from a recruit.
Right.
Chandler Smith, wide receiver out of Florida. What does he think about the Razorbacks?
Loved it. Loved his host. Traylon Burks was his host. Did a very good job with him. And Traylon is the type of kid that probably is more relaxed around a prospect like that. Yeah. But Chandler was blown away. I'm sorry, I'm picking up my pup because he is racing.
Oh, you're fine.
Chandler is a speedy kid, real fast, a dual sport recruit for football and track. He said he'd never seen track facilities like the ones Arkansas has. He visited those yesterday. He said, I've never seen anything like that. This is a kid runs about 10.26 and 100 meters. I think a 20.6 or something like that in 200 meters. He can fly. And he's 6'3", 180. Arkansas, Georgia, Florida, and South Carolina. Coach steps on him for South Carolina. But Coach Guyton, he said the thing he liked about the coaches were, like Coach Guyton, they keep it real, but they know how to keep it fun as well.
Oh, good.
In other words, they're serious with him, but they don't. It's not like it's a lecture or something. They keep it real, but keep it fun. Yeah. And so and I hear that a lot from the kids, but Chandler really pointed that out. This kid is super sharp. I'm telling you, I mean, I can bet you when he makes a decision, it will be what he wants to make. He's one of the sharpest kids I've talked to in a long time. I mean, very, very impressive. And not only does he pass the eyeball test, he just all around passes every test you could give him. I think if whoever gets him, they're going to get a star. And this kid's a 3-star, and he should not be a 3-star. I'm telling you, he is a 4-star talent. He's got speed, got hands, runs great routes. He's the total package.
Well, last guy we're going to talk about today, correct me if I'm wrong in the pronunciation of this name, Tomiwa Durojaiye.
I think that's close.
Did I kind of get that right?
I tell you what, he's Mr. You might add Mr. That's another big kid. I tell you what, he and Jamil, he is a big kid. He loves Jamil Ashley, the defensive line coach. Coming all the way from Delaware, Tara. I mean, how many kids visit? I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's been a kid take an official visit while I've been doing this from Delaware. And I don't, it probably has, but I don't remember. But he's from Middletown, Delaware, got a lot of offers. I asked him about the distance because that's obviously a concern. Right. And he said it's not going to be a factor with him because he's not considering schools that are close to Delaware. So he's going to go away to school. So Arkansas, that's kind of one thing they can't overcome right off the bat. There was the distance to home stuff. Doesn't seem to be a factor. So that's impressive. Here's another thing that's impressive about Tomiwa. He can play either defensive end or he can play inside defensive tackle. He's very versatile. He can play. He's 6'5", 250, but at 6'5", he's obviously got the frame to put on a lot more weight and probably will. And so he's capable of playing anywhere on that defensive line. Marcus Miller hosted him, did a good job with him. Those Warren kids know how to host kids. He and Miller and Burks did a good job this weekend. Catalan, all those guys. But anyway, Arkansas, I think Arkansas's got a legit chance at him, even though he's from Delaware, and that's a distance. Like I said, all of his schools, he's not staying in the state. So once your kid goes outside the state of they live in, that always gives you a better chance, and you feel better about it, Tara, because that's one thing you always wonder about: can you get them to leave their state? And he's obviously not going to Delaware, so that's impressive.
And Otis, by the way, these are all 2022 guys, right?
Yeah, these are 2022 kids, and all 7 that we've talked about were official visits. There was now they've had unofficials during the week, but we've got so much here with these official visitors. Maybe we can talk about the unofficials at another time. But I wrote about them. You can check them out on the Hogville or Pig Trail Nation website and see about the kids that took official visits here. A lot of them were the commitments, and I interviewed all of them, and so most of them. I have got to talk to the kid in Bentonville, but the rest of them I talked to, and they were all impressed. But yeah, these were all 2022 kids on official visits.
Yeah, so like I was about to mention, get more information over on our website, Otis. I know you've been writing up a lot of great articles on these guys, so definitely love all that information and your insight as always. Otis Kirk, thank you so much. That's going to wrap up our recruiting report.